Overwatch Live has a lot of really useful reports, and in this tutorial I'd like to go over some of those reports. I'd like to start first with the behavior summary for a resident, and what this initial screen shows you is the listing of the residents who have received demerits and the number of demerits that they've received. And this data is all based on this filter up here. And you can select multiple years if you have them in your system, and then specific time frames within that year, or you can select custom dates and put in a specific date range. And that goes for really all of the reports that I'm going to show you. They have that similar functionality. If I click on details, it'll bring up a screen here where I get some nice charts to visually represent the data that's been entered. So George Michael has received 19 demerits, which is 21% of all the demerits that have been issued. And if I go across the top here, this is just a tableau showing the demerits that he's received. So he's received 2 inappropriate demerit behaviors. The resident's average 0.2 inappropriate behavior demerits per resident, and in this case he's the only resident that's been issued a inappropriate behavior demerit. You can also look at it by type. Each demerit is put into a specific category, so you can get an overview by category how this resident's doing, and also you can look at the consequences that the resident has had, and also the consequences by type. So that's just a nice overview that summarizes their behavior. Go down here, resident departures. You can select the resident that you're interested in, and it gives a list of all the departures that they've had, so you can see where they've been in a nice consolidated list. You can also look at destinations. You select a resident, you can look at how many times they've been to each destination and when their most recent visit was. Departure timeline. This is for your residence hall as a whole. So what I'm going to do is just look at the last month here. And this gives a line by line, moment by moment log of everything that's happened in your resident hall. And you'll see there's 18 pages of data, so you can page through and you can see everything that's happened over the last month in my example instance here. You can also click the export button, and it exports the data into Excel, so you can review it and use it however you'd like. If we go over here to the demerit timeline, this is handy. It shows you how many demerits have been issued on a week-by-week basis, so you can spot trends that way. And also a demerit breakdown. This is similar to the behavior summary for a resident, but what this looks at it from a demerit standpoint. So you can see what are the most frequently issued demerits in your residence hall, and you can look at it on a per demerit basis or by category. If we go in here, if you have administrator access, you can view some of these administrator reports. Duty shifts shows the yellow bar is the number of hours that a particular staff member has been on duty, and the orange bar indicates the number of shifts that they've had. So Alan Scott has been on duty for almost 142 hours and had 15 shifts. And just like all the other reports, you can change the time frame by adjusting the filter. The demerits issued to residents report allows you to select a staff member, and it shows the residents that they've issued demerits to, the number of demerits that they've issued to that resident, the percentage of demerits that that staff member has issued. So Alan Scott has issued 42% of George Michael's demerits, and then this is the total number of demerits that that resident has earned. So you can spot trends and look at the relationships between different residents and staff members. This report is the exact opposite of the one I just showed you, where you select a resident and it gives you the number of demerits that each staff member has given that resident. If we go over here to the behavior side, you can look at the demerits issued by staff. So you can see how many demerits each staff member has entered. And finally, you can look at what days of the week are the most demerits issued. So those are just some of the reports that Overwatch Live provides so that you can make use of the data that the system captures.